Good morning and welcome to Today in L.A. My name is Mike Amos. His name is Bill Rice Jr. and his name is Forrest Lee. As we get started on a Wednesday, and we've got a lot to talk. Thursday. Whoa!
You already messed up, Mike.
The 13 of May.
I
Take
was
two.
moving along smoothly, and then
It was so good for those first 5 seconds.
But yes, we are in our studios on South Brundage Street in Troy, Alabama. We're on Facebook, going out across the country, across the nation, and we're just glad to be here on a Thursday as we get going again. You know, before long it'll be the end of May, and then before long high schools will be practicing football. Can you believe that?
Well, the other thing I can't believe is how cold it is for the middle of May.
Ooh.
I can't remember a colder May and April, or cooler, less hot series of weeks than we've had recently. I mean, going back a long time. So the global, as I keep saying, global warming has taken a sabbatical in Alabama for at least this year.
And I've been singing, in your Easter bonnet with all the frills upon it, you'll be the grandest lady in the Easter parade. Am I yelling this morning? I look like Easter, don't
I like it.
You look like the Golden Bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we were there. We were there, and we can give you first-hand information about Pike Liberal Arts winning another state championship, and boy, it was a good one. And a lot of people came through for the Patriots yesterday.
Team effort, great coaching effort, great team effort, great show of support from the fans.
Huge fan support.
So what else can you say? Congratulations, Pike Patriots, state champions in baseball, state champions in basketball, state champions in football, and they have won 3 in a row in baseball. Would have been 4 in a row if they hadn't had the COVID canceled season. So just awesome all the way around.
State championship in cheerleading and a national championship in cheerleading. Runner-up in JV baseball. They had
second in golf.
Second in golf.
Really have. Tell us about it, Forrest.
Well, I don't have all the details of that particular game, but
we can give add to it.
They, Walker Stallworth. I watched a little bit, on TV at the golf course yesterday. We were getting ready.
You mean you actually was able to watch that football game on television out of the Brundage Country Club?
At the baseball, yeah. Troy TC2 covered it live, and the play-by-play guy, I don't know his name, did a real good job. But I could just remember, Walker started off shaky. Walker Stallworth, he's a senior, and then he settled down. I think he allowed just maybe a couple of hits after that. They won the first game.
He had a no-hitter going into the 6th inning. Yeah. Great.
I tell you what, Walker Stallworth is a good pitcher. Exclamation.
And who sat in front of us, Mike? Tell them that it was the scout or coach for, what's the name of the junior college, Southern Union?
Southern Union, but it was some scouts there, too, that they were there.
They had big smiles on their faces.
I'm sure they went there to see the shortstop for Troy, for Pike Liberal, and also the great pitcher, phenom pitcher.
The junior. But in the second game, there was some questions on Facebook about Bessemer walking off the field and quitting. But when it was 13-0 in the 3rd inning of the second game, the officials conferred with the Alabama Independent School Association officials. There is a rule after 3 innings, if the score is 12, if there's a 12-run difference, the game is called. Well, it was actually 13-0, so the official score, I'm not sure if it's going to be 12 or 13-0, but that's why Bessemer left the field, because there is a rule. Yeah. It's 12 runs. So the official score.
It was total exaggeration that they actually quit.
Yeah, they didn't quit, but that's a rule. Congratulations to Drew Nelson.
Good thing it was called, because that game was getting ready to be 24-0.
And they got some young players coming back. I think I heard him say in an interview the other day he's losing like 11 seniors.
Oh
but
God.
The JV team is pretty strong. He's got a good nucleus coming back. I know the catcher, can't think of his name. He's
great. He's a 9th grader.
Yeah.
Is he a lot? Anyway, I apologize for not knowing the exact roster, but we got all of them here listed. But the catcher's a ninth grader.
That thing, man, I'll tell you a little bit about him.
All right.
I tell you, it's amazing how many good young players on this team, and of course they lose Mario number one,
Mario White.
Yeah, Mario White.
No, that's Javon Christian.
Yeah, I know. That's why
They lose him too.
They lose him, and he was quite a great player, and Mario White was too. And then another young man that they lost, and he's quite a pitcher himself. Is
Press Jeffcoat?
Yeah, Press Jeffcoat.
Oh, I thought he had another year.
No, he does. He's just a junior. And, he's a pretty good-looking pitcher, too. He's the guy that came in relief.
Yeah, so they'll have Jeffcoat back and they'll have Drew Nelson back.
Yeah.
So that's two super strong pitchers. So right there, you're looking good.
There's another Jeffcoat kid on that team.
And that's his brother.
Payne.
Yeah.
He's a freshman. He's like 6'4".
Yeah.
He plays basketball. So I'm not sure if he's a pitcher or an infielder or an outfielder.
He's a good-looking athlete, I tell you what.
He surely is.
And they've got a lot of good-looking players coming back.
Pike really outclassed Bessemer. The fundamentals, just the little things in baseball that make a great team, not making errors, not throwing the ball around, giving free bases. Bessemer did that, and Pike didn't do that. We talked about catcher. Bessemer had a fairly good catcher, but he made a lot of he missed some balls, passed balls, and made some bad throws, and Pike did not.
I'll tell you this. Let's just go ahead and call a spade a spade. You wonder how they got there. They were not near the quality team that Pike was, and I hate to say that, but
good morning. You're on Today in LA.
The day. Morning. And there's Mike Amos calling in from Graden Beach, Florida. We're talking about yesterday's big Pike Liberal Arts State Championship game, Mike, and they won again.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it on Facebook. Great job by whoever that guy was doing the play-by-play. I don't know who he was, but he did a great job for Troy Cable, and his future looks very bright. I don't know who that kid is, but
good.
Great job. And anyway, what can you say? They're just a dynasty, I guess.
That's the word.
One of the greatest high school, private school programs in state history. Should be 4 in a row if we don't have the miserable COVID coronavirus.
Yeah.
So,
on top of that, Mike,
that would really been something.
Should win it again next year, I would imagine.
Well, it really would have probably been 4 in a row, absent COVID. But I think the year before that, Pike finished as runner-up. So, they were that close to being 5 in a row.
I was going down the list of some of the seniors that will be missed. I don't know if this guy's a senior or not, but number 6, Jaden Jordan, he is a player. I know he got 2 big hits in the final game, but his ability to run the bases, gosh, he could
Well,
fly.
he hit a triple late in second game, I think, and it was like he was shot out of a cannon when he rounded first base and got to third base.
Put him in a football uniform, please, and put him at wide out and let him run by folks. This kid is an athlete.
And then the other guy that impressed us, Mike and I being these great baseball scouts, was the second baseman for Pike. Made some big league plays where he got people out on close throws to first. Balls hit up the middle right over the second base bag where you said there's no way they're going to get that guy out, and he got him out. Well, and the first baseman, I'm sorry I don't know the names, he dug some balls out of the dirt that got some outs for Pike Liberal Arts.
And he sure did, and just were outstanding. And of course, you look at these Scott Taylor Renfro. you know, everybody thinks of him as being a great kicker in football. Well, let me tell you, he's a good baseball player too.
Well, that's not every one of them is a good baseball player.
They're just good athletes. They play
well coached, fundamentally sound. Coach Hickson made all the right calls all season, developed this team, you know, which had a target on its back all year long. All this pressure of repeating, three-peating, winning the Triple Crown, and it didn't faze them.
I was trying to look up some of
the pressure must have got the Troy University softball team.
Yes.
You're talking about losing to a team you should never lose to. They lost to a team that only won 16 games on the season.
Yeah.
And they are done in the Sun Belt tournament. I mean, there's no way you win 5 straight games.
Well, they lost
a conference championship. They'll be lucky to win 2 games, but he scored 1 run against a team that had lost. I mean, it only won 16 games all season. I mean, how does that happen?
Yeah, they lost 2-1. Louisiana beat Monroe 7-0. South Alabama defeated Appalachian State 11-0. Texas State beat Georgia State 2-0. Today, Louisiana plays South Alabama at 10 o'clock. Texas Arlington plays Texas State at 12:30. Troy University plays the University of Louisiana Monroe at 2. Then Appalachian State versus Georgia State at 5:30. So that's a long road to hoe to get to where you want to be. But it can happen. It can happen.
There's just no way you win 5 straight. Troy doesn't have enough pitching. That's been pretty evident down the stretch.
Well, it was just 2-1 was the final score, wasn't it?
2-1.
Well, it's what happens when.
And it went extra innings, so you used another pitcher as well. Johnson apparently pitched great.
That's what happens when you have aces match up against each other. You can have a great pitcher, but if the other team has a good pitcher, you're going to be in a close ball, low-scoring game, and that's what happened.
But I don't think there's any restrictions on softball pitching.
You know?
No, I don't think it is. You know, I would sure not want to have to do that, but if you had to do it, you know, they could bring her back in there.
Yeah, the Southeastern Conference softball tournament's wide open at Tuscaloosa, and Auburn's already eliminated. I do know that. And the SEC Player of the Year is a utility player from Alabama whose hometown is Lafayette, Louisiana.
That's where my
also
Molly's from.
Nationally, MGM Resorts Casinos open at full capacity without social distancing restrictions. Gaming floors and properties owned by MGM Resorts get to operate at 100% occupancy with no social distancing. So go lose some money at some casinos.
Yeah. Well, you know, people do that every day.
MGM is the Boulder Lodge in Biloxi, so the bow is wide open now.
You know who wants that to happen is all these state governments that get a cut of all the gambling money that's spent. So the state governments need money too, and so that they really welcome this gambling kicking back in full gear.
Yeah, locally in softball, the Charles Henderson Lady Trojans are alive. They lost to Faith Academy 11-0, but they stayed alive with a 9-1 win over Carroll. Carroll has been eliminated. This morning at 9 o'clock in Gulf Shores, the Lady Trojans will play Rehoboth. So good luck to them. Having great games for the Lady Trojans where Madison Stewart hit a 2-run homer. Her dad works for Troy Cable. Mackenzie Kane, Heather Maxwell, Stella Gilbreth, I believe, pitched the entire second game. So good luck to the Lady Trojans. If they finish 1 or 2 in that tournament, they'll go to the state championships in Oxford. And there is a brew hall. Now, there is a baseball bonanza going on in Dale County. Ayrton won the first game 8-7, back and forth. And in the second game, the 3-time defending state champion in 2A baseball, G.W. Long, won the second game 11-0. Game 3, the deciding game, is today in Ayrton at 5 o'clock. I suggest you leave now and pack a bag and a quilt because it's going to be cool.
And then the winner goes to the state finals, and this game might be for the championship. This might be the two best teams.
Yeah, and they'll play either. They're going to play. I've got who they'll match up against. It's, well, I've got it somewhere, but it's Mars Hill Bible or Summerton Christian. That's who they'll play.
Ayrton or GW Long over both of those.
And Brantley starts today. They play Shore Christian. This is in baseball in Brantley, starting at 4:30. No, that's tomorrow. I'm sorry. Donahoe. They'll play the winner. The winner of Brantley and Bay Shore Christian will play Donahoe. Donahoe swept their series yesterday, and Ayrton and GW Long, they're either going to play Mars Hill Bible or Westbrook Christian. They split yesterday.
Mars Hill has a great program, and evidently Westwood Christian. Westwood Christian.
Yeah,
where,
a bunch of Butson cousins went to Donahoe and Aniston.
Yeah, I know some people that went to Donahoe.
Yeah, they're.
It's a private school in the Anniston.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a
has
big
a rich tradition. Yeah.
My father-in-law was the chairman of the board of that. Not my father-in-law, my brother-in-law was the chairman of the board at that school.
I think it's a great school.
The board, and he helped start that school.
Also of interest, Pike Road and St. Paul split. They are playing in Mobile at Henry Aaron Stadium. And
oh, wow, the minor league park, what a great place to play.
And Pike Road and St. Paul split. St. Paul's won the first game 5-4, and then Pike Road won the second game 9-5. But the senior Ivan Schultz will not be able to pitch because he sustained a shoulder injury last week. So game 3 is today at 4.
Baseball of all things, he got hurt.
Yeah.
Now let's tell everybody who Ivan Schultz is. That is Roger Schultz's son that worked at Troy University Athletics for a long time, played football at Alabama.
All SEC.
And Ivan is committed to Troy as a center on the football team. But he's a great baseball player, too, so that hurts St. Paul because he's been in the news a lot for his baseball prowess.
So
it's not often you have a 6'2", 300-pound
that's kind of
baseball
intimidating.
pitcher.
Yeah, that's intimidating.
I mean, so Ponder is one game away from the state championships game, so that's unbelievable.
Yeah. But now tell us that they split. Is that right?
Yes, sir, they split.
Yeah, but if they win today, they go to the state championship.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, let's talk about one of Ponder's proteges, one Rush Hickson, who is, 23 years old?
That's right.
First year as a skipper all by himself. You can't do it any better, can you?
I know.
And he's got a pedigree of a family, too, of baseball tradition.
And we hope to hear from.
It's like
we hope to hear from some of those.
Billy, we
folks
talked to
this morning.
Billy at the game, and Coach Hickson's daddy. But going back to the Pike game, I think everybody agrees that the star of the first key game was Walker Stallworth, who was pitching against a kid that is committed to Alabama
as a junior.
Well, I thought he was a senior, and he wasn't terribly impressive to Mike and I. I mean, he could throw it hard, and he's real tall.
He looked, had a great.
He's got the frame,
movement and all that. Yeah.
He's probably 6'4", at least, skinny. But he was outpitched by Walker Stallworth.
Oh yeah, sure was.
And then they took him out. This kid that's going to Alabama in the 4th inning. But this kid does have another year to develop, so maybe the Alabama coaches know. And he only gave up 3 or 4 hits, but he walked a lot, and the way he kind of comported himself on the mound was his body language wasn't real impressive.
Yeah. I tell you what, probably the key member of this team, of course, you look at the great pitching that they got from Drew Nelson, but number 10, Levi Sykes, he seems like he just is the guy that runs first, and he really was good in that game and his whole career. At Pike Liberal Arts, he's really had a great one, along with, several seniors that we'll bring out and open when Billy gets back in here.
There was one error that I remember Pike made, and it was a fluke play. It was Mays, the shortstop, fielded a slow ground ball, and he had fielded it fine, and he was just taking the ball, trying to take the ball out of his glove to throw it to first base, and he just dropped the ball, which was just a fluke play, and that was the only error I remember.
All right, how many hits did we were talking about?
We missed the first inning of the first game. There might have been one in that.
But it seemed like I want to say that Bessemer got 3 hits total in
Both games.
Now, and also did Nelson actually give up a hit?
You know, Troy was behind. Pikeville was behind 1-0 at one time.
Yeah, that was in the first game.
Good morning. You're on Today in L.A.
Hey, Bill, Billy Hickson.
All right. This
Billy
is
Hickson. Boy, we appreciate you calling this morning, Billy.
When are the steaks being fired up, or were they fired up last night?
I hope y'all bought them a good supper last night after the game.
Well, they had a pretty good one the night before. They only had pizza last night, but I'm sure we'll have another get-together and celebration before it's all over with.
Well, Billy, give us your rundown of what happened.
Well, I was worried all week going in this game. I'll tell you the truth. Bessemer is a good team. I don't think they brought their best game yesterday. I don't know if the stage was too big for them. They got, intimidated, but they kicked the ball around a little bit and just didn't look like the Bessemer that we had seen in the past. But I think we had a lot to do with that. I was pleased with the outcome, no doubt. But, Bessemer still was a good team. They've got some kids coming back, and they'll be back again next year, I'm sure.
Is the big, tall pitcher, does he come back for Bessemer?
He does. He's a junior.
He's got a good arm, but I thought your team hit him quite well. They looked like everybody got up there, swung the bat at him.
Yeah, they helped us out a little bit, but by kicking around. But I think our game plan was put the ball in play. They knew that if you did make them handle the ball a lot, that they had a sometimes they would kick the ball around. So, their game plan worked out. They hit a lot of line drives, not a lot of fly balls, trying to keep it on the ground as much as possible. It all came through for them.
Coach Billy Hudson, Billy is the coach at the son. The son of outstanding player yourself at your one time. Talking to Billy Hickson, and Billy, give us like Walker Stallworth. He really came through for him in the first game.
He did. Y'all asked me before who was going to pitch, and I told you I didn't know, and that was the truth. I had no idea. And when I got to the game, and I saw him warming up. It did surprise me a lot, but it kind of did because they had been working Javon and Chris, in the last two series. But Walker hadn't pitched in a good while, and he was ready. And, I saw in the paper where Rush had commented that they had decided 2 days ago that they were going to give the ball to Walker, and he answered the bell. Although that first inning was shaky, he got out of that with only 1 run, and then he got settled in and got his curveball working. And when that's working for him, he's hard to beat.
Oh, he has a great curveball. We sat right behind home plate, and man, he froze a lot of batters with that curveball. And I think he surprised the umpire a couple of times that would call balls on curveballs that it looked like everybody in the bleachers knew was a strike. So it was working yesterday.
There was one time I think everybody was running off the field.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they called
Even the Bessemer coaches was walking off.
Yeah. Well,
the umpire was the only one that didn't know it.
when you can throw a curveball for strikes, you can be pretty tough. You know, with about 80 to 85 mile an hour fastball to go with it. That's pretty good stuff, isn't it?
It is, and you know, he had no hit them before, so I think that started kind of creeping in their mind as the game went on when he got wound up good, and you know, they didn't really mount much of a threat after that. So it worked out good for him. I'm glad. Pitching performance at Pike was successful.
Well, the only reason he didn't get to pitch in the last month much is because Pike just kept sweeping the series 2-0, and so you know he was their insurance guy in the third game, and they never had to use him.
That's true. That's always a good thing, and then he's fresh for this championship series, and you know it works out good when you've got that much pitching to pick from.
Yeah. Then, of course, in the second game, you know, you have a guy that everybody knows now, Drew Nelson. And tell us about that last game.
Well, you know, Drew threw a no-hitter through 3, but sitting there watching it, you didn't realize that because he had some walks that he just never could get pinpointed right there at the first. But, you know, he didn't have his best stuff, that's for sure. I mean, he wasn't as crisp as he was the last 2 series, but he still threw a no-hitter and had a
shutout.
I was watching his delivery, and you know, he has you know, you don't see his type delivery much, and he goes straight up over his head, and then he brings it back down, and it's a unique pitching way he's got.
Yeah, and he's smooth, and looking at him yesterday, he wasn't missing much. I mean, he was just a little off and wasn't getting that call a little bit, and he was more in the throwing it low. He didn't give that up enough, but you know, it was his wasn't his best stuff, but it was good enough.
Yeah. Oh, hey, he was, you know, the last 2 innings he pitched, he was
getting better.
I told Rice, I said, hey, he picked to be in the groove, and sure enough, that last couple of innings, he was in the groove.
You know, Walker was in the groove too. I read in the Dothan Eagle that he had 6 straight strikeouts at one point.
Got a total of 10.
Yeah.
You know, he's a great pitcher. Now he's going to play for. He's already signed with the junior college. Isn't that right?
Yeah, he's going to Southern Union, and that was their coach sitting in front of y'all.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's a nice guy. We were able to talk to him quite a bit and enjoyed it. Let me ask this. Give us a little, you know, talking about Javon Christian, the outstanding player. I want to mention some of these seniors. Is he a senior?
Yes, Javon's a senior.
He's been with the program ever since he was in kindergarten, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's been there a long time.
Well, let's talk about baseball. You're from a baseball family. You're both your sons are coaching. I've always heard you got to be strong up the middle. So Pike, catcher, was flawless as far as I could tell.
Not three.
Shortstop is, you know, got college. He's going to be playing in college. He's super slick. Second baseman looked like a college second baseman, made some big league plays. And then your center fielder, I guess, was
exactly
Christian. Right. That's just as smooth as can be. That's up the middle right
there.
That's
That's what Chase Riddle always told me, that's what is the most important part of your baseball team.
Yeah, there's no doubt we were strong up the middle, and I hope we can repeat that next year. We lose all of those except the catcher.
And he's a good one, I tell you.
What's
catcher
his name?
is a good
What's his
one.
name, Billy?
Yeah.
His name's John Lott.
John Lott.
Well, I tell you, he's a good defensive catcher. He made a lot of plays.
Only a freshman?
He's only a freshman, and you know he's like I say, he's really good defensively. His techniques are really good. He knows the position, and he's not going to do anything but get better. Get stronger. He's still needs to get stronger, and that'll happen in the weight room for sure.
You watch him as a senior; he is going to be a big-time prospect, just for his defense, if nothing else.
And then Mays White, the Florida State signee, is quite a player.
Yeah, he is. He had one little error yesterday, but you know, if you play long enough, you're gonna have errors. That's just part of the game. But he can cover a lot of ground.
You know, of course, his bat. He didn't seem like his bat was near as good as it's been. And you know, all these other guys just came in and picked it up where he might have left off offensively.
Well, that's one thing yesterday in both games. You had people step up to take up the slack of people that usually hit that wasn't hitting, like Jaden Jordan. He had a great series, and he's capable of doing that all the time.
Let me tell you something I noticed about him, and I'll just look at everybody out there. That's one of the fastest high school runners I've seen in a long time. This kid has big time speed. Am I telling the truth?
Yeah, he's got a lot of speed. Last week at Morgan, he made a really good catch in right field and hit the wall. It was a foul ball, actually. He was running full speed, and he hit it pretty hard. And they had to pull him out because he got a little shaken up. But he's fine now. But
What classification is he?
Speed, he made that catch right at the wall. And
Has he got another year?
he's a junior.
Oh boy, good. That's good. Because he had two big hits in that game yesterday, in the last game.
Hunter Keenan, we saw him make some great plays yesterday. Billy, has he been making those plays all year?
He has. Hunter's probably the most what am I trying to say?
Polished, sound, consistent.
Sound, yeah. And he's been making routine plays. He doesn't have the range of Mays, but if it's in his zone, he's going to catch it and make the play. I mean,
He made two real big plays at second base that early in the game, and that were big, I thought.
he did. That one, actually, he was holding the runner on.
Yeah, that's right.
If he'd done that would have been a hit up the middle.
No question about it.
But that was a great play. Like I said, he's made the routine plays, and that's all you ask for. If I'm a coach, I tell all my players, y'all just make the routine plays. That's fine. You don't have to make a great superstar play.
Now, does he have another year?
No, he's going to CAC.
All right, so he has already signed with a junior college then.
He has.
Great.
And
So that's two. That's Walker and him that are going to junior colleges. Mays is going to Florida State. Drew's already committed to Auburn after next year. He's got one more year.
Okay.
Levi Sykes over at third, he's also going to CAC with Hunter. Those two.
What is? Tell us what is that middle? Is that name of the school? What is the school?
It's Central Alabama Community.
Okay,
College.
that's out of yeah.
In Alex City?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually where Rush went
Play.
to junior college before he went to Troy.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's 1, 2, 3 starters right there going to junior college baseball. And junior college baseball is where it's at. I mean, that's where most of your talent goes to start off.
Who's your first baseman?
First baseman, Skylar Kidd.
Buddy, he's good too.
He stepped up big yesterday, no doubt.
We didn't have him listed. Do we have him listed here?
Is he a junior or senior?
He's a junior.
He's a junior.
He dug some balls. I mean, we talked about the great plays
right.
that they made at short. Mays made some, and then the second baseman. But they had long, tough throws, and so they bounced them over there. They were a little in the dirt, and he dug them out, man.
He made some big plays.
And these were boom, boom. These were plays that were one step, from being safer out, and he caught the ball like a big leaguer.
But pitching-wise, you got Press Jeffcoat. He's just a junior, correct?
Yeah, he's going to be a great one.
Brent is a junior, and of course Drew's a junior.
And
So we got two young ones coming up. That's going to really help. So, you know, future's looking good.
Now, Mr.
Hopefully that Rice kid will live up to his potential.
So that's what I was going to say. Bill's got to work with him, get him.
Well, now it's your son's got to work with him. I don't know jack about baseball.
Now, Mr. Hickson, will a lot of these kids play summer ball, either in a league or American Legion or something along those lines? A lot of these younger kids.
Yeah, they will. I'm not sure exactly where they all will play, but the majority of them will be playing summer ball.
Well, the cupboards appear to be full too, because your JV team finished second in the state, and they were very impressive all year. So, you know, what's exciting.
Success breeds success, man. People want to play. They take it seriously. Then you get more people that want to come and join you, and it's what's happened at Alabama in football. It's just the better you are, probably the better you're going to be in the future if you got the right people leading the ship.
Let me tell you something I noticed. I've been around baseball a long time. Is how aggressive y'all were at the plate. If y'all walked up there and y'all ready to hit, of course, he's got them taking the first pitch. Is that the way it's always been?
I'm not sure if that's a
But
given or not. I'm opposite of that. I want to go up there. Usually the first pitch is the best pitch.
that's one I agree. But it seemed like that was the way it was.
Yeah, they do that a lot. But I know from experience, Ross was always a first pitch hitter. His junior year, he batted over 400, and he hit that first pitch.
Yeah.
And people started noticing that in his senior year. He would get curveballs thrown first pitch most of the time, but people realized not to throw him a fastball first pitch, so he, would hit it. And but I've seen it so many times. They take that first pitch straight down the middle, or strike. Best pitch they're going to get in that bat. The next pitch is a curveball that they foul off.
Now you got two strikes.
Yep.
And then the pitcher makes you hit what he wants to. It's a good pitcher.
But what I meant though was I really felt like that when the Patriot came to the plate, he was aggressive and ready to hit.
Yeah, and talking about Skylar Kidd, going back to him, he has nothing but up potential to get better and better. He's still a little raw at the plate. He's a strong kid. He handles the bat well, but he'll swing at some balls that's out of the zone a lot. But he's gonna get his money for it.
He's aggressive.
Sometimes I like that more than sitting up there watching him,
Mm-hmm.
But he's a little, he'll swing at a high pitch a lot of times that he needs to leave up. But he's gonna get his hacks, and that's, like you say, he's aggressive, and I like that.
I noticed when Press Jeffcoat came in, a lot of people were sort of questioning the coach. Why don't you let Walker have one more pitch or one more batter? And he probably could have got him out. But I really thought Jeffcoat, he is a good-looking young pitcher. He's gonna be a star next year, along with Nelson.
Well, the reason they pulled him, he ran out of pitches.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, he had the pitch count. I didn't know that either.
We did.
I found out, in the Dothan. Well, I was like you. I thought, well, he can get one more out, but I didn't know about that rule, that pitch count rule.
Wasn't the bases loaded? It was 6-2, and the bases were loaded.
I think that's right.
No, I think there were men on first and second, and then Jeffcoat gave up one hit, and the bases did get loaded, but he got out of it. But
now a big
quit. But I'm talking about the end of the game. It was 6-2 with the bases loaded, and he struck the guy out. Isn't that right?
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, he should have got the strikeout on the guy that got the hit. The umpire kind of squeezed him a little bit.
Yeah. Well,
I thought got the plate, but
yep.
How was Patterson Field? I guess did you and Dad go, Bill?
Oh yeah, we went and had a great time, and just we marvel at that stadium. Keep that stadium alive. Of course, I don't know. It was in the 40s, I think, when they built that stadium.
Yeah, Babe
Was it
Ruth played there.
still in pretty good condition.
Real good condition. Looked like to me. What did you think,
Playing
Ben?
surface is really good.
Yeah.
That's a great setting. I don't know. Babe Ruth, I think he did
Babe
play
Ruth played at Crampton Bowl.
Crampton Bowl. He
Yeah.
used to play baseball at Crampton Bowl.
That's right. Sure did.
But it's a beautiful venue, and we've all seen big-time games there from high school to college to pro. I remember going to Montgomery Rebels games there.
It opened in 1949.
Billy, something that all of us had a question about, and me and we were up here thinking about it this morning. It was, how did the game end? Some people didn't realize that it was a 10-run, 12-run rule or what?
Yes, that's what it was. It was 12 after 3, and that was a new one on me because, last week Bessemer beat Glenwood 15-0, but they must not score the 15 till later on in the game.
I can't believe that Edgewood, the team from Phoenix City, would fall that badly to Bessemer.
Yeah, really.
Well, their ace pitcher walked 6 batters, I think, the first inning.
Oh boy, that has a lot to do with it, doesn't it?
They had an error or something too, and it just wheels ran off from there.
Yeah. You know, there were some people thinking that Bessemer actually quit, but they didn't quit. But do you know it went out over the press that they forfeited?
Yeah, I was watching the game last night on TC2. And
Look at that, isn't that great? Yeah.
I could hear the radio guys behind them saying the same thing, and then he was saying because nobody really knew. But it looked exactly. The coach walked out there, and then the team came to the dugout, and you looked, well, dang, they just quit. But
Yeah.
it was the 12-run rule after 3. And I was listening to y'all earlier. Forrest was wondering who was doing the play-by-play. It was Ryan McCullough. He's a coach at Pike.
Yeah.
Well, he did a great job. He sure did. What we've heard, yeah. Was he doing the play-by-play or the color? What was he doing?
He was doing it all.
He was doing it.
Okay. Well, good. Well, that's great.
I bet Bessemer did not have a cable company that was covering that game live.
He's on the football staff.
Yeah, I know him well. He's a good kid. Yeah.
Where does Pine Liberal Arts go from here, Billy? I mean, is it just like the greatest athletic season in the history of, I guess, ever?
Well, it is at Pike, no doubt. I mean, that's never been done. They've set the bar high.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I'm going to tell you how, I did a lot of research after Pike won the basketball championship into teams that had done the Triple Crown. I found Abbeville, and then also I found Edgewood that did it. According to my records of looking at all the football, basketball, and baseball state champs. So I had 2 teams in the AISA that had pulled the Triple Crown. That's winning all 3 state championships in the same year. But the Dothan Eagle runs a story this morning saying that only Abbeville is the only other team that's done it. So Pike joins Abbeville. That's 2 teams in AISA history, which goes back to 1970, in 50 years. So in 50 years, 2 teams have won state championships in all the same sports in the same year. Now you go to public schools, there's just been 1. That's Madison Academy. So in the history of Alabama athletics, there have been 3 high schools that ran the table on state championships in the big boy sports, and Pike Little Arts is one of them, one of those 3.
And big girl sports, Abbeville Christian just did it in volleyball, basketball, and softball. I got a question for you, Mr. Hickson.
okay.
And you can yield it or table it. Do you ever foresee Pike Liberal Arts joining the Alabama High School Athletic Association? Just your thoughts on that because of travel and things of that nature?
I'll answer that easy. If I was making the decision, they'd have done it this year.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're right.
And
No brainer at this point. You mentioned the travel, and now we're getting. It's hard to get teams to play us now.
yes, sir.
I mean, Rush had to go out of Florida and play those schools, which was a good thing. I mean, it's a lot of good competition, but you have to travel, you know, and some of them are coming to our place next year, and some of them did this year also. But some of the AISA schools wouldn't play us, and football this coming year, we're having a hard time filling a full schedule.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Hickson, one thing that I had mentioned, you know, if we all join together under one association, and you can play whoever you want to in the regular season or whoever you can schedule, well, in the playoffs, have a division where you've got, say, in the private school sector, you've got a AAA, and an A division where they can play for the state championship, and then the other schools like the Goshen's, who
You would have public school champions and private school
Yes,
champions,
but
they
you
could
can-
play
but during the
in
regular season,
each
you can
other-
play each other.
They could play each other.
and that would kind of, then when it comes playoff time, you're not traveling that much. But like in the regular season, for example, Pike Liberal Arts could play Goshen, Ayrton,
Anybody.
Zion Chapel, or whoever. But in the playoffs, okay, now let's go. You got Tuscaloosa Academy, you got Bessemer, whoever, and then your Mobile Christians and all them would be in the bigger board divisions because they're technically private schools playing in the Alabama. It wouldn't be quite fair for, say, Pike Lib to go play Mobile Christian, I don't think, because Mobile Christian probably has triple the students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just a thought of mine.
Back in the day, when Mobile Christian, Faith, Cottage Hill, all those Mobile schools were in the AISA.
That's right.
And we were playing, I mean, 3A was as high as you went. Well, that's what we were having to compete against. Well, there was no way you would beat Faith, Cottage Hill, and Mobile Christian when they have 700, 1,000 students, and you're sitting there with 400 students. It was like you were in the open league, so to speak. Once you hit the 3A, there wasn't a cap on 3A. But
Well, how many years does it take to transition over? Do you have to give them 2-year notice?
well, you got to get ahead of the curve once, you know, the reclassification and all that. But then I think here's what's holding us back with people. There's a 2-year probation period, so to speak, where you cannot compete for a championship.
I think they need to waive that.
If we went to public school, to say next year, we would not be eligible for our state championship.
Yeah.
And for 2 years. And a lot of people are saying, well, we don't want to do that. But to me, for the school's sake, if you're growing your school, you just got to sacrifice those 2 years and go ahead and do it. And, you know, be fit, you know, start in 2 years.
That's kind of what Providence Christian had to do because they were the last school that I know of. And in the Dothan paper I read,
North side,
North Side, yeah, I'm
North
sorry, the
side,
North
yeah.
Side,
Last.
that when the decision was made, it allowed them to automatically play 15 to 20 schools in a 50-mile radius that are their same size. But I think they need to waive that rule. And
You got to lobby, yeah. 2 years is definitely. Why not do it if you're going to do it? Make it 1 year that you're on the probationary status.
but
Sounds
since
like something the great Wes Allen can get involved in.
well, you got a new director. There's a new director. There needs to be a new vision. I think the state of Florida does it, like we just suggested. I think in the playoffs they have these different divisions, but in the regular season you can play whoever.
Well, if I talked to several people between games yesterday, and the consensus was that Pike's baseball team this year would be the favorite to win the 1A and 2A baseball state championship. They'd probably win the 3A. I'm talking about public school league. maybe the 4A, in baseball. So,
I think
there's no doubt that Pike would immediately compete at the highest level in baseball. In football, I think they at the 1A, 2A level, they would be very, very competitive. Basketball, probably the same thing. Golf, all the women's sports. And I've just not been. I haven't been a parent that's had to travel to all these 2-hour away, 2.5 hour away games. 2.5 hours over there, 2.5 hours back on school nights. That would all be gone. I mean, your longest trip would be an hour.
This sounds.
The revenue would double, or it may triple if Pike Liberal and Goshen was playing a football game on Friday night in Patriot Stadium or Eagle Stadium. That place would be packed.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Heck,
Think
take them over the Memorial Stadium and then the real.
Okay.
But
Charles Henderson baseball versus Pike Liberal Arts baseball. Would have to go to Atlanta to play that game.
You play it at Riddle Pace Field, and it would be
Packed.
22,000 people there. You're right, and you charge $5 a person. You just made $10,000.
listen to this. This makes all the sense in the world. G.W. Long, Houston Academy, Zion Chapel,
Arrington.
Goshen, Arrington,
Pike County High School.
and Pike County. Well, no, not Pike County.
Yeah,
Goshen, and I mentioned Goshen, and
Yeah,
Providence.
Holland Home, Blue Bird.
Providence Christian and Northside Methodist. Those are all very reasonable opponents.
Sure.
Oh, I'd love to see Pike play baseball against Montgomery Academy and Trinity and St. James.
And see, they could play Catholic, or the Catholic's pretty good, but you could play Catholic.
Pike could win as many as they lose.
But what I'm saying, these are right here within 40 or 50 miles of each other or less. A lot of them less than 50 miles from you, and it would be realistic to play those guys.
I bet it's coming. And Billy knows the politics and the movers and the shakers, and it's obviously being something that's been talked about. So
It's been talked about. I mean, I was chairman of the board, I don't know how many years, it's been a long time ago, but I researched it, and we talked about it then, but we couldn't get any traction. It's been talked about lately and hadn't got any traction much, or it's getting a little more, but what I heard the last time that squelched it was the 2-year.
that's what I've heard too, Billy. Yeah.
So who's going to be able to pay for all these rings for all these state championships?
I want a
know it.
donation
I know
from
it.
Michael Amos.
Is the club running out of money?
Well, I don't know. There you go.
They're drilling for oil right now.
I think you might have to go back to mamas and daddies. I hate to say that,
Yeah, that's something that they don't mind buying.
I think there are 4 players, athletes, Billy, you might know, that will have 3 state championship rings in 1 year. That, in other words, that played on all 3 sports, 3 or 4. That's amazing.
Renfro, Christian, Nelson. Those are the 3.
Bun, Drew, Mario Davenport.
Excuse me.
The
And a bunch that have 2.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, Billy. Let me ask you this, and of course, those questions are being asked all the time, and I'm still just amazed at how good a pitcher this Drew Nelson is. And what is your opinion of Drew Nelson? He's a solid player, but then when it comes to pitching, he's very good.
Defensively.
we've said it 100 times. He's what you want in a pitcher. He's accurate. He's got a head on his shoulder. A pitcher, you can throw it 90 miles an hour, but you don't have the
Control of it.
the control and the head on your shoulder. A pitcher is more mental than physical a lot of times. I've seen great pitchers give up 1 home run and he's through. And then I've seen pitchers give up a home run and they don't give another hit the rest of the day. And that's the difference in a good pitcher and a bad pitcher. And Drew has that mental side of it also. And he's, I guess what they call him, bulldog. He's one of those that when he goes out on the mound, he thinks he's the best out there and ain't nobody going to hit him.
I would compare it to a quarterback in football And I'm a big admirer of Mac Jones, and you watch Mac Jones. We all remember the 2 pick sixes he threw against Auburn, but the definition of his character was shown. What's he do after that? He comes back and forgets about it and takes your team right down the field and scores a touchdown. I mean, that's just a mental makeup that you have.
You know, a lot of it about Drew, it starts at home. His dad is a very good coach.
Oh, they
Would you say that?
Look at the Renfro.
Is a very good coach and has been really working with Drew for all
Jeff
these
coach.
years. And
Their dads are
They're coaches, yeah.
He's worked with him, and he's
stalwarts.
molded him into what he is now. I guess.
And then you have a guy like Stallworth standing over there watching his son play, and Billy Jeff Coat, another great coach. You know, these guys have been worked with on their fundamentals very hard at home, don't you think?
Since they were in diapers, probably.
And that's what it takes. I mean, you can't just walk on the field when the season starts and think you're going to compete at this level.
Will Drew play football next year, you think? Will Drew play football next year?
I don't know. I feel like he will, but I'm not sure.
Well, I'm sure he'll be loaded.
Forrest, what are you going to do with your archery program at Point Little Arch? You got to win a state championship, I guess.
Well, that will be hard pressed, but anyway, I got to find somewhere to practice first.
And somebody told me that Drew Nelson has already signed up for your archery team.
Well,
no joking aside, because it is a good sport, but Nelson probably be an All-American in anything he played. When you think
getting
so?
back to
it's kind of like Tucker Kilcrease. He can play
the debate over moving to AHSA or public school league. Well, the public school league actually includes about 10% private schools. But think about one analogy might be what Troy did in moving to Division I football.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a long-term marketing, branding
And
program that was supposed to help the whole academic in the school. And they did have a little transition period they had to go through.
Yeah, they had a transition to go through.
But it worked. Everybody's glad they did it.
I look at Crenshaw Christian Academy. They're small. Well, they play Sparta out of Evergreen. Maybe Hooper. Is Lakeside 1 or 2A? But, Crenshaw's in the same boat as, since 1970, you've lost a lot of, the private school teams, I guess you'd say.
Lakeside fluctuates from 2A to 3A. I think they're in 2A right now, but they were 3A for a few years. It's getting harder and harder, especially for smaller schools. They have to travel a long ways to play. And then,
so what does Russ do now? Does he coach American Legion ball still?
Yeah, they'll get started with that in a couple of weeks. He'll have a little break.
Is it going to be Pike Liberal Arts American Legion team or what?
No, it'll be post 70. I mean, but they won't be many Pike. Since he's now the head coach, he can't have but a certain amount of players.
I think it's like 5
on
or
that
something
roster
like
for
that.
Pike.
No.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, there's a limit.
Well, now there's all these travel teams. It's just a completely different topic.
But the Legion gets complicated on when you put a team together. Every school has points, and if you get 3 kids from Charles Anderson, you got so many points. 3 kids from Dothan High, and you can't have so many points or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you put together a team, you got to stay within those points. And so it's hard to can't load up on just one school's kids.
Well, one thing in the last 10 years, look at the facilities that have improved, just say baseball, the last 5 years at Pike Liberal Arts, the field, the press box, the hitting venue that you have, and I'm sure on a daily scale of baseball, as it happens, JV and varsity, there's not a minute wasted that a player is not busy developing his skill, and it's going over to the softball as well. But
Ladies and gentlemen, for a
lot
long
has
time,
to do about facilities.
ladies and gentlemen, for a long time, I've known the Hickson family, and I used to joke with them all the time about getting out in the pasture and hitting the baseball, and y'all live on a hill and looking down, and how many, if I went down there looking around, I bet you I could find a lot of old baseballs somewhere, couldn't I?
Yeah, there's quite a few, but you know, you say that a lot, and this is a true story. We've got a place on our property that's called the Ball Diamond. I mean, if Daddy would tell me go mow the Ball Diamond, I knew where it was.
Yeah.
The place back in the day on Sundays where everybody in the community came to play Sunday baseball.
Yes.
By the creek, flat spot, and I tell people all the time, if I could go back in time, I would just love to see a fly or a bird in the tree watching.
And somebody, and for some reason, I saw Brother Butch Austin, our great coach of all time. Butch Austin wasn't but as the bird flies, wasn't very far away, was
Well, he got this Pike LeBlanc baseball program going, Coach Butch.
He had a tremendous effect on Charles Henderson and his grandson. You'll probably find Butch today in Ayrton, Alabama, because Ayrton and G.W. Long are playing at 5. Winner goes to the state championship.
That's probably why we didn't see him yesterday, because he was involved.
Will,
Billy, you still see Butch a lot, don't you?
I do. I know a lot. He used to stop by a good bit, but COVID kind of kept him inside. I was out riding the other day and stopped by his house and talked to him for a while. But that's
Russ ought to go out there and do some recruiting today. He might want a kid from Ayrton or G.W. Long.
You know, I promise you, I hate to say this, but that's the case. You know, there'll be some. I'm sure there'll be some people love it if Drew Nelson would transfer.
Oh yeah,
you know?
don't even say that. You're right. You could.
But thank goodness they've got rules about that, don't they? Or do they?
You know, y'all talk about the recruiting a good bit, but any team that's good, if you look like when Hoover was so good, they were recruiting.
Oh yeah.
Prattville, when
they were getting kids from Virginia moving down to Hoover. I was living in Birmingham at the time.
And Rush Prost may get his job back at Valdosta. They're going to vote again this Monday to see if they revert. Yeah, it's in the paper.
They want him back.
Hey,
Yeah.
and
They'll
I'll
vote
tell you,
again Monday.
I tell you what,
They're gonna
there's a bright young coach over at Pike Liberal Arts School. And he's young. And how old is he? 26?
No.
24. Okay.
Don't you talk about?
He ain't going nowhere.
He don't need. Let him.
Only 24.
He
No,
can
I'm just saying this is a bright young
He
coach.
can be the coach at Auburn or Alabama or Troy University one day, but we want him at Pike LeBlanc for a couple
I
years.
know you want him, but I'm just saying that you've got a bright young coach over there, and there's no question about it. And of course, these kids.
I'm sure he'll be interested in how Ponder and them are going to do today. I'm sure he's close with him.
Yeah, exactly. No question about it.
They talk pretty regular.
Did you see the quote that Rush had in the Montgomery Advertiser talking about in that Ponder feature story?
Yeah, that was Ross now.
Oh, Ross?
Ross
About the runner-up trophy, what happened to it?
threw it out the window.
John Archer did that one time in basketball.
I guess that's a true story.
Yeah.
It's true, but I told somebody yesterday, I said, if we get a runner-up today, that trophy won't make it back to Troy.
Hey, and now, am I correct that Pike this could have been a 4-peat if there was no COVID interruption last year, but the year before that, didn't Pike finish as runner-up? So
Yeah,
they went runner-up and then state champion, COVID pause, state champion is the way it went.
when Rush's junior year, they were runner-up. And Rush's senior year, they got beat in the semifinal game.
No.
Look,
Rush's senior year was the worst thing they've had in a long, long time.
And they finished in the semifinals. So.
Yeah.
of course,
Rush was the only player on that team that went to college and played.
now I want to call these guys' names out, and you quickly, if you don't mind, tell me if he's a senior or not, or if he's an underclassman. Javon Christian.
Senior.
Maze White.
Senior.
Jacob Spivey.
Senior.
K.C. Bradford.
Junior. He may be a 10th grader.
Peyton Dix.
That's David Bradford's son, I guess.
Yeah, he's a senior. Peyton Dix, senior.
This is a talent here. Jaden Jordan.
He's a junior.
Scott Renfro.
He is a senior. That's one person we really hadn't talked about, but he had a great series yesterday.
He sure did. Hey, he wanted to be up there at the plate. I tell you that.
Yeah, I call him Clutch. I told him after the game, I said, I'm going to nickname you Clutch because he's come through all year.
And he's a kid that's got speed. Now I didn't realize how much speed he had. He had a lot. He has got a lot of speed.
He does, and the moment's not too big for him. He's relaxed. It doesn't matter if his base is loaded, 2 outs, and it's the bottom of the 7th. He gets up there loose. You know, he's just, and he's got to be that way because he's a kicker.
Yeah, that's a great quality for a field goal kicker.
Sure is. He's an athlete. You got an athlete back there, no question. Number 8, J.D. Wilson. Michael, you know him pretty well.
I grew up with his daddy, yeah, Daniel.
Tell us about this guy. He's a young pitcher, isn't he?
Well, he's a senior.
Oh, he's a senior. I did not realize.
He looks like a senior.
Golly. Daniel Wilson's boy is a senior. Number 9, Connor Cox.
He's a senior.
All right. Number 10, Levi Sykes, and boy, he's a good one.
Yeah, he's a senior.
And he's already signed and committed. You know, let us know if these people already know where they're going.
He's going to CAC.
Hunter Keenan, and just looking at this kid, you say, is he a ball player? You know, whatever. But hey, he is a real ball player. He's a good one.
Yeah, he's a senior, and he's also going to CAC.
Yeah. Press Jeffcoat, and I think he's got a real future himself, and he's a good-looking pitcher.
He's a junior.
Number 14, Austin Spivey.
Senior.
Number 15, Arden Weiser.
Yeah, he's a junior.
Number 18, Cade Renfro.
He's a 10th grader. That's Scott Taylor's brother.
Okay. And he's just a 10th grader. Okay. Number 19, John Lott.
Freshman.
Number 21, Case Chirico. Chirico, excuse me.
He's a junior.
All right. Number 22, Drew Nelson.
Junior. Of course, going Auburn.
Now, you know, let me tell you this. He can say he's going to go to Auburn, but he can go anywhere he wants to. Mm-hmm. You know, he's not locked in. Hey, he's gonna get several phone calls before it's all over, don't you think?
Well, he's got to make a decision whether he wants to go to Auburn or the Seattle Mariners.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, they offer money. Okay, number 23, Cameron Baker. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's a junior.
All right, number 24, Walker Stallworth. And Buddy Walker, you were outstanding, son. You were outstanding. And he's another one that's got a daddy that knows a lot about baseball.
Yeah, he's got a great mama too.
You're right.
His brother-in-law was pretty good too.
I tell you what, if she was his agent, he'd go a long ways.
She'll tell you what she thinks.
Number 25, Danny Cooper.
He is a junior.
All right. Number 34, Payne Jeffcoat. Tell us about him.
He's a freshman.
He's a freshman.
And is he a pitcher or what? He's a big, tall kid already, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a pitcher. He didn't play a whole lot. He played some outfield toward the first of the year. But he's young, but he's going to be good. He's got that pitcher body. He's going to be a lot like his brother, I'm sure.
All right. Now, number 42 and number 1 have the same name, Javon Christian. Was that just a mistake?
He's a senior.
And he's been
somewhere. I'm not sure exactly.
He's been now I noticed he didn't bat, but he's or did he bat in that game yesterday? I don't know.
He didn't. That's why Jaden Jordan was the agent for him. and he just he doesn't like to hit.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? But can play center field with the best of them, can he?
Doesn't like to hit. Didn't he hit a few home runs last year or the year before? I thought he was a home run hitter.
2 years ago, he hit a home run at Tuscaloosa that put him in the.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
But he just I don't know. He scares the ball. One thing. He's got to be the best athlete in the whole school.
That's what I was fixing to say.
He pitches too.
If there is one guy, if there is one guy that you can, like a player that you can really count on with in all sports, it would have been him. Wouldn't you think?
Oh yeah, he's had a great athletic career.
No question.
Was Mario dressed out? Mario Davenport?
He's a junior.
Well, Mario
He's not
Davenport was not listed on this group, but
That's 12 underclassmen coming back, and a lot of them are juniors.
I'm glad you took that down. And
I know
so, you mamas and daddies and you fans of Pine Liberal Arts Patriots, don't worry, they're gonna be back next year for a run of 4. What do you think, Billy? Can they put together a team?
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna say we're gonna win it because that's a hard thing to do. But
well, let me ask you this: he can, if he wanted to, he can recruit, can't he?
Oh yeah, I mean,
he can go get whoever he wants to get.
I mean, you go. I mean, really, and it's within the rules, you know.
Yeah, I mean, as any coach, you want the best players you can get.
Somebody told me Tucker Kilcrease is going to Pike. Have y'all? What kind of rumor would that be?
He's probably going to Strong to play for his uncle.
Yeah. Hey, you could understand that, couldn't you?
Strong's going to be up and coming.
Yeah.
Well, you know your cousin Jerry Renfro, his son Quinn, he was a star player at Brantley, and then he transferred.
That's right. He sure was. He sure was. But of course,
he's actually on the coaching staff now.
Yeah.
One of the coaches.
Oh, it is.
Oh yeah, he was.
I was thinking, did he ever play junior college ball?
He went to Southern Union. Got hurt. He never played a lot.
Yeah. He's a fine young man. I know that, really is.
Yeah, he is. I like.
Yeah. Well, that's a look, ladies and gentlemen.
Who's the rest of the baseball coaches that help your son?
Yeah, tell us about that. Yeah.
Chandler Lunn helps. He's assistant JV coach, and then he helps the varsity a good bit. Hunter Mann helps him, and then Ross helps him, and Alex Adams, who's the JV coach, he helps him when he's not doing JV.
Yeah.
He's got a good staff.
Yeah.
They all know what they're doing, what their role is. They all get along. They're good friends. And I'm just glad we went through the whole season without Ross and Russ tying up in the dugout.
What's their age difference?
That's 4 years apart.
Yeah. Well, I bet you that those two were rough.
I saw Ross at church
Yeah.
last Sunday. He came up and introduced himself
Yeah.
like a polite young man. He was raised well by his mom and daddy.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, is your daughter part of the cheerleading sponsors?
Do I now? I didn't hear you.
Is your daughter one of the cheerleader sponsors?
She is.
And who are those ladies? Hannah and
You got the Scott girl, Katie Scott.
Katie Scott,
Yeah.
and there's a Royal lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brittany
Okay.
Royal.
But I tell you what,
Well,
it's
he's
amazing.
got
They
a
won the
pretty good
world,
coaching staff.
won national championship in cheerleading. That was wonderful.
Well, this is a year for the ages, really, going back about a year and a half at Pike Liberal Arts. And so if we're going to spend one program to talk about this, I think it's worthwhile given everything they've done. And I just can't say enough about this baseball team with all the pressure they had on them, all the expectations to use Coach Saban's word, finished. They finished. You know, they didn't let all the clutter get in their
That's
mind.
right.
They focused on the process.
Yeah.
And just really, I hate to say it, they cruised to this state championship just like some of us thought they might. But that's a credit to them.
Most of these kids, to Pike's credit, all grew up and from the ground floor at Pike, from kindergarten on up. A lot of these kids went that way. Isn't that right?
Most
Yeah,
part.
a lot of them did. Some came ninth grade, some 10th.
I mean, the Stallworth kid was a starter at Charles Henderson. The Jeffco boys were in Charles Henderson schools. They're all new to Pike Little Arts over the last 3 or 4 years, aren't they?
Yeah, they came
Yeah.
They came last year, and then COVID stopped that season.
in 10th graders.
Well, I tell you what, it's amazing because they very, very easily could have won 4 straight.
Yeah. Probably would have.
If the COVID did not interfere with them. Let me tell you this. And of course, this guy is a farmer, and how do you mix your farming with your baseball watching? You just
have to leave it sometimes.
Yeah. Hey, really?
I got asked a lot yesterday. Who's looking after the farm? Looking after itself.
So what do y'all grow
Cows.
at the farm?
We run cattle, poultry, cotton, and peanuts.
Do those boys have
So is chicken prices really going up like everybody tells me down here in Florida?
Well, I keep hearing there's a shortage, but it's not on our end. It's logistics, getting it transported and stuff is why they can't get it in storage and stuff. But
Well, I know that you're a big-time farmer, and you're a very successful farmer, and you awfully kind to give us your time this morning. And have you've already fed the chickens this morning?
well, they pretty much
Self-feeder.
fed themselves.
Okay. It's all mechanized every now and
Hey,
then.
listen, we need to say something else. That Pike Little Arts has won 3 straight in baseball, right? And then how many? That's 5 total for the school in baseball. Am I correct? Mr. Butch won 1, didn't he? And
2012 first.
Yeah.
well, maybe 4.
I think it's 4.
Yeah. What Phoenix City, the school Glenwood has dominated baseball for a long time himself. Wouldn't you think?
Oh yeah, Glenwood has got like 20 something.
And then one of their alumnus played for the Braves, didn't he?
There's two brothers, Rasmussen, that played in the Major Leagues.
I know, but hey,
They played
another.
at Russell County though.
But
That's
who
right, that's
did the great pitcher for the Atlanta Braves?
He's
Who
with
played
Auburn
for?
staff now.
Tim
Tim Hudson.
He's from Glenwood.
He played at Glenwood Academy. That's right.
On the Auburn staff now.
I think
Let me tell you a little
Yeah.
story about Tim Hudson.
All right.
When he was at Glenwood, he was a great high school player, but he was small, and nobody was giving him any looks whatsoever. And their coach called the Chat Valley coach and said, "Hey, I got this kid that's a pretty good player. You think you can give him a chance?" And he said, "Yeah, I'll do it." So Tim Hudson goes to Chat Valley, and he has a good 2 years of junior college, but still he's kind of undersized, whatnot, not getting a lot of looks. So the Chat Valley coach calls Auburn coach and said, "Hey, I got this guy that's not getting a lot of looks. Think you can give him a shot? He's a pretty good player." So Auburn gives him a shot, and then the rest is history. But
Yeah.
For these kids that small,
That guy that did that at Chattahoochee Valley was named B.R. Johnson.
that's right.
My good friend. He and I played football together. He weighed 255 and I
Tim
weighed
Hudson,
180.
Yeah, Tim Hudson was. What's unique about Tim Hudson is as great a pitcher he was almost as great a hitter in college.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he was good.
He played center field when he.
Yeah, he had 26 home runs.
Yeah, for Auburn. Yeah.
He was just a little undersized, and people wasn't giving him a shot.
I made a point, and
That boy.
on a post on some internet site the other day. Think about all the baseball players and some football players that didn't get to play their or finish their senior years in their sports. And all the ones that maybe would have gotten the chance at the college level, but because they didn't get a season, you'll never know. That some of these late bloomers, the stars, the coaches know about their junior year in high school, but there's some of these players that really come on out of the blue their senior year. And
you know something, on that same thing, the thing that is the most important element of a baseball player is not how hard he throws, but look at those legs. Those legs is where his power is, wouldn't you say?
Ain't no doubt.
It's not, you don't worry as much about his upper body, but if he's got the legs, he's got a chance. Wouldn't you say?
Stamina comes from too.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at your son. Your son threw the ball 90 miles per hour when he was in college. Yeah, and that right? Maybe more than 90 miles an hour. And hey, I looked at him, boy, he had the legs. He had the legs, didn't he? I mean, he did that. He did that with legs, though. He didn't necessarily do it with upper body. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that and just a quick arm. He's had a quick arm release, I guess.
And see, and that's God given, wouldn't you say?
It is.
You don't develop the arm. You either got it or you don't have it.
Let me go back to Tim Hudson.
I didn't teach him that out of the cowpack, so I'll tell you that.
Well, I don't know. They were stepping on. They had to watch where they walked and watch where they ran, didn't they?
That's true. Hey, one other thing before I have to go. Davis Allen, who played at Pike last year, West Allen.
Yes, sir.
Delson State won the junior college state championship yesterday, and they'll be headed to Grand Junction, Colorado here in a few weeks for the junior college World Series. So,
and that's where Davis. That's where Davis plays.
He does, yeah.
What position did he play?
He's been playing left field.
And I know that he had good speed. He had a lot of speed, didn't he?
He did, and he's batting about 330.
Oh,
wow,
wow.
Awesome.
He's had a good year.
His daddy's running for Secretary of State of the state of Alabama.
And they now is he a sophomore?
Freshman.
No, he's a freshman.
Now I tell you that Troy's got they might take a look at him. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, if he keeps going, he's gotten a lot bigger. Stronger.
Yeah. I always thought it.
He's got his grandmother and granddaddy up there to watch every game.
Yeah, that's right. That's where they're from, out there. Thank you so much, Billy. We appreciate this so much, and I hope a lot of people are watching it now and later on in the day on our show in the afternoon. We appreciate very much you calling and sharing all that information with us.
All right, well, thank y'all. Y'all do
Go Patriots, brother. Go Patriots.
All right, see y'all.
In 1997, Tim Hudson played 65 games for Auburn. He hit .396, 18 home runs, and had 95 RBIs in 65 games.
Amazing.
He pitched.
Yeah, that's when they win the College World Series.
Yeah, he was 15-2 pitching.
Can you believe
and had a
that?
2.97 ERA and was the SEC Player of the Year and consensus All-American.
He's the SEC Player of the Decade.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
Of the world.
Of the all-time.
He won 208 or 9 games in the Major League.
He was 222 wins, 133 losses.
And Mike, he's on the staff.
losses.
He probably should be.
2,000 strikeouts.
I'd hate to be that head coach of Auburn when people start seeing Hudson as being one of their coaches and multi-million-dollar coaches.
You got Gabe Gross.
And Gabe Gross
He played
on your
17
staff.
years.
You know, I told Mike, I said, I can't remember the last time I went to Patterson Field, the game, and I said, oh, yeah, dude, it's the Troy connection. One of my best friends growing up in Troy was Al Bracewell. Everybody remembers the Bracewells and Al's brother, Beth.
Yeah.
Well, Al never played baseball in his life. He ended up being a pretty good tight end at Charles Henderson when graduated with me in '83. Al goes on, and he's in the lumber and timber mill business, done fantastic. And his kids go to Briarwood Christian. Well, lo and behold, Al's son, Ben, becomes the top baseball player in the state of Alabama at Briarwood Christian, the #1 pitcher. Gets signed by Mississippi State and plays for them for 4 years. And I was living in Montgomery at the time, and Briarwood Christian's going for a state championship, and I called Al and said, can I go watch the game with you? So I sat by Ben's daddy as he pitched in the finals of the state championship. And well, there is Daddy was not a baseball player, and Ben was not tall, like Billy's son, but he had something that made him a great pitcher.
Legs.
In college, he had arm issues, and he had a good career, but I don't think it was as great as he was hoping for because he just battled these shoulder and arm issues.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, evidently this was Pike LeBar's baseball day on today in L.A., but we've enjoyed bringing it to you. It's been a lot of fun talking to Billy about his boy, and of course I've always had a special feeling about these old boys that live out in the country, and they've all done well, and we appreciate.
Well, it seems like until somebody's willing to sacrifice a couple of years, they're not going to make the move.
Yeah.
Public schools.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
this a lot of it now has got to do with May's. His dad's going to make some major decisions, I'm sure, about this program.
Well, John Ramage will be.
I think it'll be the board.
In control of a lot of
They'll make the decision.
Yeah.
I can think of a lot of guys
He's done
that
a
would be
wonderful job. John Ramage done a wonderful job
on that decision. It's a big decision. It doesn't affect just Pike. It affects Charles Henderson High School and Troy City Schools too, because that's going to
every school within a 50-mile radius it will affect.
Okay.
I think you talk about recruiting and families that want their kids to play at the highest level high school sports and have the best experience, be it cheerleading, cross country, or baseball or football. Well, if you're suddenly playing against Montgomery Academy and G.W. Long and Charles Henderson, that probably holds more appeal to you.
Yeah.
I mean, you turn into a St. James, a Trinity, a Montgomery Academy, or Catholic. You turn into all those schools instantly.
Yeah.
I think we all need to join together and during the playoffs have championships for each one.
Then of
it's
course,
a good idea.
That's what Florida does.
Would the politics allow it to happen?
They just need to figure out a year to hold all these kids back.
Okay, and I'm going to say this. There's not a public school alive that hadn't recruited, period.
I know.
Or parents in one
Move to an area.
They move because they think the grass is greener somewhere else. But I believe in the red, white, and blue. Do what you can do or want to do as a parent, but do it within the rules. But it's
your life, and if you believe in freedom, you can go to school wherever the heck you want to go play.
I want to thank our good friends out at Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram Trucks on the bypass in Troy, where they are dealing like you've never seen them deal before on new and used cars and trucks. Jason Gregory, he was there yesterday, and a big group of support comes from Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram Trucks on the bypass right here in Troy. And want to also mention our good friends at Troy Bank and Trust Company. Remember, Troy Bank and Trust Company, the only bank you'll ever need.
And read all about the Patriots in the Troy Messenger. I'm sure they'll have a lot of great coverage coming up.
Will.
Good luck to the Lady Trojans of Charles Henderson as they play Rehoboth here at 9 o'clock.
And I'm not like y'all. I'm not writing off our softball team yet. They can come out of the losers bracket.
Heritage, GW Long, Luverne, Holland.
You can.
All right, Mike, thank you for calling, and we hope that you enjoyed our show.
Let's go Arrington as well. Let's pull for the Arrington.
Yeah, that's right, the Purple Cats.
Yeah. 5 o'clock, showdown.
Yeah.